We're going to be looking at drum brakes on the Buick. Alright, so the amount of travel that I have in the pedal, it's probably about half the pedal length. So, look at this. Super easy to get off. Like no brake dust in there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna adjust these pads out until I can put this on. And there's a little bit of interference, but not much at all. Just enough to the point where it makes a little scrapey sound. There's a tiny bit of drag when I'm rotating the wheel by hand. Car's in neutral, tires are locked. It's on a certified jack stand, so we're good. If anybody hasn't worked on drum brakes, this is your star adjuster. So this rotates one direction, and all it does is increase the distance between the bottom of the pads. Because if you think about drum brakes, they work as hinges, right? So this is your bottom hinge, that's your bottom hinge. You have your wheel cylinder right here. So when your wheel cylinder opens up, it just pushes the pads out, and they make contact with the inside face of the drum right there. Now, if you have too much space on the bottom, you're gonna have bad contact patch, or well, bad contact patches. You only get like a quarter of it and a quarter of it. So it's kind of important to get this bottom adjuster in the right position, so that way when you step on the brakes and your wheel cylinders push out just a little bit, pretty much the whole thing will make contact right away. Now if you don't have them adjusted right, you're gonna get uneven wear. As you can see on here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but if you have micrometer eyes, you can tell the bottom is thicker than the top. And that means this bottom right down here and right down here has not been making contact equally. So you're getting some of the pad hitting and some of the pad hitting, but not down here until it wears out, and then it can, you know, wear a little bit more uneven. If that makes sense. So I'm going to get this thing adjusted out. I'm going to put the drum back on. I'm going to get it until it's fairly tight. You know, I don't know if you saw when I was taking this off, but it was very loose. Very, very loose. So we're going to try to tighten that up. Hopefully we can get some of the travel out of that pedal and make it a nice, well-stopping machine again so you don't die when you drive it. Alright, so now it's close. I'm going to go one tooth at a time. Keep checking until it's right where it needs to be. Now when I'm taking this off, there's a little bit of interference when I go left and right with it. The pads are hanging up a little. So that means that in my book, that means that it's good. I'm going to do the other rear, I'm going to turn the car around and do the fronts. Fronts are a little bit different. Okay, so the back checks out pretty good back there. So for the front, I broke these lug nuts free already, but the wheel bearing is in behind the hub. So when I pull the drum off, the wheel bearings are going to come off with it. So I'm going to do the easy factory way. Okay, to do this what I call the easy way, if you look right in there, behind that grease fitting there's that little rubber cap. I'm going to pull that off and I should be able to access the adjuster through that little slit. I know it's a little difficult to see, but that greasy blob in there, that is the adjuster. I redid the front brakes, so I actually went through and I greased everything up. So I'm going to get a screwdriver on there, take it a few clicks out, test the pedal, test the car, see if it stops even. So it was only pulling a little bit to the passenger side, so it shouldn't need much of an adjustment. But that's it right in there. You can see the back part of the adjuster. Alrighty, it took it about 7 or 8 clicks out. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got the brakes adjusted, I think. Feels pretty solid. Let's hope it doesn't start dragging on me. So thankfully I was able to get the brakes all squared away. Pretty simple process, but it can be a little bit daunting if you don't know much about drum brakes. Now that's all good to go. It's time to get back on the Z, so soon.